In this video, we will be covering episode 4 of my Amazon FBA Wholesale series. In this episode, we will be covering how you need to be sourcing profitable suppliers and products for your wholesale business. Let's jump right into it. What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. For those of you that are new, my name is Brad Sherman. I've been selling on Amazon for about 4 years now, 7-figure seller. And on this channel, we explore tips, strategies, and experiences that I have had that will help you start and scale up your Amazon FBA wholesale business. If you are just joining the channel now, you are joining during episode 4 of my Amazon FBA wholesale series. And in this episode, we are covering how you need to be sourcing profitable suppliers, right? We are going to cover proven methods that I utilize in my business on a day-to-day basis to close more supplier accounts and add profitable inventory to my Amazon business. If you guys haven't seen the first 3 videos, episodes 1, 2, and 3, I'll leave a link for those up above in this video for you to check out. Before we jump into it, if you guys do enjoy these videos, smash that like button. And if you want to stay up to date and follow along on this series, hit that subscribe button and notification bell as well. Without further ado, let's jump right into it. So in this video, we will be doing a full tutorial breakdown through a screen share of how I source profitable suppliers. And before we dive into that, I just want to preface it with a few points. I'm going to be using 2 proven methods in this video, and that is reverse sourcing and storefront stalking. Those are the primary methods that I use for sourcing profitable wholesale suppliers, and they're proven. They work. They help you find niche products and niche suppliers that you can work with. Now, guys, keep in mind, when you reach out to companies, most of these companies are going to reject you. It's just part of the business, and it's something that you have to be prepared for. With that being said, there are thousands and thousands of products and suppliers out there that want to sell you their products, right? Think about it. They are making money on selling you wholesale and a bunch of other businesses their products. So they are out there. It's just about you doing the work and finding them. It's not an easy process, but if you put in the hours to source the right kinds of companies, right? And we target small to mid-sized companies. So in my business, we're focused on the smaller to mid-sized companies, whereas some other businesses might sell big name brand products on Amazon that you could procure through a distributor. That's not to say that I don't work with distributors and I don't sell bigger name products, but the bulk of my business is done on small to middle-sized brands. So my sourcing method is tailored toward producing that output because I want to form long-term relationships with these brands. I want to work with business owners in order to provide them with value and help their brand grow just as much as they are helping my business grow. So it's a little bit of a different business model than your standard wholesale, which is just, buy products and sell them on Amazon or buy from a distributor or a generic wholesaler. And I'm going to tell you guys, doing the general methods nowadays is not going to work. It's going to be difficult and oversaturated if you use those methods by just going on to generic wholesale sites, trying to purchase big name products that everybody else is doing. You have to make yourself stand out from the rest, and you have to hone in on what types of suppliers you are contacting. Because as we've said many times before, your account closure rate is a percentage of the amount of companies that you are reaching out to. So episode 5 will cover how I reach out to these companies. For episode 4, we're going to stick to sourcing. So as we mentioned, 2 main sourcing methods, reverse sourcing and storefront stalking, which we're about to dive into on a screen share. Now, one more method that I have used, and that is a really good method that's a little bit outside the box, is networking with brick and mortar stores or networking at trade shows. So what I'll say in regard to this is, for the brick and mortar stores, take a look in your local area. Do you know anyone that owns a brick and mortar store? If you do, consider possibly partnering with them, because your account closure rate is going to be much higher if you are able to tell these companies that you have a brick and mortar store. Now, a lot of these companies might still not let you sell on Amazon, but there will be a certain percentage of these companies that allow you to sell on Amazon contingent on the fact that you have a brick and mortar location to shelf and sell the products through. Trade shows can also be a good networking event. However, I would be mindful of which specific trade shows you are going to, and I would recommend not to just go to any old trade show blind. You're going to want to maybe have a couple target companies that you're looking to work with, and ideally you will have spoken to them on the phone prior to meeting them, so that they already know that you are coming to the trade show and you can then introduce yourself to them face to face. If you just show up out of nowhere blindly and just go to a trade show, it might be a waste of your time. I would recommend contacting the company first, see where they are in the playing field. Are they open to Amazon? Are they not open to Amazon? Is it a company that you could potentially convince if you went to that trade show? And then go to the trade show if you think you could potentially close the deal in person. So guys, enough talking. Let's get into the content now. I will see you on the inside of the screen share. What is going on, YouTube? Welcome to the inside of the Wholesale, episode 4 in my series, Sourcing Suppliers, right? This is the start of the real in-depth content that we're going to cover in this series. I'm very excited to be sharing this with you. Welcome to the inside, and let's dive right into it. So we're going to break this video up into a couple parts, and it's not going to be extremely long. Rather, I'm going to cover everything we need to cover in a concise manner. So we're talking about sourcing suppliers, and we talk about this a lot in the videos and the Facebook group. What kinds of companies do we want to target? We want to target small to mid-sized brands, right? I'm not going after the giant brands. Rather, I'm targeting companies that I can work with and build a relationship with, perhaps even the brand owner, and I can provide value to in some fashion, right? So we're going to utilize 2 main methods of sourcing in this video. One is reverse sourcing, and the second one is storefront stalking. So before we get into Amazon and doing the reverse sourcing method, let's cover what product criteria I am looking for in order to generate leads. So when we're doing this analysis, the product criteria that I'm looking for is, number 1, Amazon is not selling the product for a consistent period of time. How do I know that? I look at Keepa. If you guys haven't seen my video on how to read a Keepa chart in depth, we'll cover some Keepa in this video, but in-depth Keepa is going to be covered in the video linked up above. So make sure you guys check that out. I look and I see that Amazon is not selling the product for a consistent period of time, and they're not controlling the buy box, because I don't want to compete with Amazon on a product listing when they are controlling the buy box. They will undercut pricing, and I won't be able to compete as a third-party seller. I'm looking for the retail price point of the product to be at least $18. And the reason for this is because anything below $18, my margin tends to get eaten up. This does not mean I'm not going to look at products that are selling for under $18. I do, in fact, I sell a number of products that sell for less than $18. And I do this because I'm able to move the products at a faster rate, right? If we're taking a lower profit margin, we want to be selling our inventory quicker, whereas we can hold on to inventory a little bit longer if our profit margin is higher on those units. So point number 3 in our criteria is, if the price point is less than $18, sales rank must be below $10,000 sales rank, not $10,000. So that's not saying that an 11,000 sales rank is going to be ruled out. All that's saying is the lower the price, the lower the retail price on the product, the lower I want the sales rank to be so that the product sells faster. It's a rough guide. It's not a steadfast number. If the price is below $6, however, I will not include the product because I likely am not going to make any money on that after Amazon fees, after shipping, my costs, and so on and so forth. The product should have greater than 25 reviews. However, this is not a decision-making factor, right? If the product is less than 25 reviews and was recently listed and keep it showing sales, I'll definitely consider it. Product reviews just give me a good baseline for determining what kind of history does the product have and is it selling. I would like to keep the number of FBA competitive sellers. And if for those of you that are not familiar with competitive FBA, what we're looking at is we're looking at for the sellers to be competitive in terms of their price, and they have to be prime sellers. So if I have 3 sellers on the listing selling for $19.99, and then I have another 3 sellers on the same listing selling for $25.99, those other 3 sellers for $25.99 are not considered competitive. Same goes for FBM sellers that are non-competitive. We do see FBM get the buy box more now than they used to. So FBM are competitive offers if they're getting the buy box and priced consistent with FBA offers. Next point is that there is no minimum number of sellers necessarily. 2 and above is good, but I wouldn't even rule it out if there's only 1 seller on the listing. And the reason for this is because I've seen seller products with 1 seller on the listing that I've gotten wholesale accounts with. Now, we primarily don't want to really focus our efforts on product listings with 1 seller, especially if the seller name is the brand, or if they look like a third-party agency that the brand is working with directly. So really 2 and above is going to be your sweet spot. I like to say 2 to 5 sellers is a great sweet spot. Anything above 5 sellers, the product has to be moving at a good velocity in order to justify that increased competition. And then, of course, anything above 10 or 12 sellers, I likely will not even consider. So that is our criteria, and we will dive into some content here. So guys, we're on Amazon, right? And I have my plugins, I have my Keepa, my different data tools that we will use in aid with this process. So I'm just going to start in any old category, and I didn't do any research ahead of time. I just want to show you guys exactly how I do the process from scratch. So, I'm just looking at the different categories here, and, we can do, we're trying to niche down. This is the process called reverse sourcing. So we're reverse sourcing in a specific category on Amazon, and then we're niching down further and further. Home and kitchen, office products, pet supplies, sports and outdoors, tools and home improvement. I don't know. Let's start here. We're going to search in this category, and then we're going to niche down further. Amazon will give us all these different subcategories within the major category of sports and outdoors. So, let's say we want to start in hunting, and we will look a little bit further down, and we can even niche down further if we wanted to. Maybe we could niche down further and go to hunting gear and accessories, right? So now I'm looking at products, right, that Amazon is going to show the sponsored products first, which likely are private label brands. As we can see here, 1 FBA seller, 1 FBA seller. These are just, private label brands. And then, of course, we'll see more of this, and we'll also see Amazon on a number of product listings on the beginning pages. So a lot of the same types of products here. We primarily are looking and seeing 1 FBA seller. I'll open up 1 or 2, but these primarily look like private label brands. I mean, that's what's going to be on the first page for the most part. So I like to dive deeper into, the 3rd, 4th page and just continue digging deeper. I might quickly take a look at this. And it looks like this is, a private label brand. I'm probably not interested in that. So I'll just keep niching down further. And I'm just walking you guys through my thought process here and what we're accomplishing, and basically how I'm looking at and doing my research. So I'm right now off the bat, I'm not in love with this category because they're primarily all one seller. It looks like it's a lot of private label. Maybe I'll bounce out of this category and just, take a look at all results in this hunting category. So we're scrolling, and this plugin, for those of you that are not familiar, this is the free version of DS Amazon Quick View. So if you don't have it, definitely grab it, and you'll be able to see a quick view of if Amazon's on the listing, the rank, the ASIN, the number of sellers. You'll even be able to hover over it and see, what the Keepa chart looks like. As you can see in this right-hand corner, if we move myself out of the way, you can see a brief overview of the Keepa chart. So Amazon on a lot of these, and again, bear in mind, I'm not strictly looking for criteria right now. I'm just looking to add leads to my spreadsheet because I haven't even contacted the companies first. You know what? First, I got to contact the companies, then we can talk about doing product analysis, right? It starts with sourcing, contacting, receive the price list, do your product analysis, and then place your test order. Right now, we're just sourcing. So I see Amazon's on this listing. Are they competitive? Maybe. I will open it up. Again, I'm passing over listings with one seller on it and Amazon controlling the listing. So still searching, seeing a lot of one sellers. And this is what you're going to get on the first several pages. Guys, you have to go deep into Amazon's catalog. I mean, there's 400 pages here. Just continue going down the rabbit hole because you will start to find more opportunity. You'll find more of those small to mid-sized companies on the 50th page, the 100th page. So continue doing that process. And I'll show you the next step of the process, which is storefront stalking. That's a part of the process that not everyone is doing. So we will dive into that. Here's Amazon on the listing, 7 sellers, but Amazon looks like they're controlling it. Not really interested. So we'll keep going, see if we could open up maybe one more. Here's one. Looks like it sells very well. 3 sellers. Amazon, they on this. It looks like they just got on it. Expensive retail price there. Here's another one for FBA sellers. So let me get one more. Okay, so that's enough tabs to open. Now I'll start looking in here. And one thing we are looking at is Keepa, right? We're seeing, okay, is Amazon controlling the buy box? It looks like they primarily are. So I'm just going to go ahead and take that out. We're not interested in competing directly with Amazon. Here's another brand. It looks like they have map pricing, as I can see by the Keepa chart. I see a number of sellers on it. And this is an example of a product that probably too many sellers on it. But what we'll do is we will still put it in our spreadsheet to contact the company because there's no harm in doing so. So we covered sourcing criteria. Now let's cover inputting the data into the spreadsheet. So our first step is to type in the name of the brand on Google. And what we will do is we will start by going to the brand's website directly, and we will look for the contact information on the brand's website. So, right, I always say, make phone calls, get that number, contact. We'll add another column here with email and phone. We will put the contact phone number and the contact email address, right? So I'll put the name of the product or the name of the brand, which is Hollow Sun Red Dot Site. I'll put the link to Amazon, so when I call them, I can reference the link that is on Amazon, and I know what product I'm referring to. So boom, we have our first contact. Now, a lot of people, what they do is they just close out the tab from here. We're not going to do that. We are going to now go into the process of storefront stalking. So I will look and see the other sellers, and I'll just jump down the list a little bit and see, okay, are there a couple sellers maybe I can source? Here's one, here's two, here's three. So I'll go into the storefronts and I will start going through the different products that those sellers sell according to the same criteria I did when we were reverse sourcing, right? No Amazon, multiple FBA sellers, and this is how you niche down further. Because once you start to find a network of storefronts that sell profitable inventory, you will start to see, more of those small to mid-sized companies that you can work with. So continue doing this, continue niching down. Again, I'm not going to go through every single storefront here. And the purpose of this video is to not show you guys secret storefronts, right? That's not the goal here. There's nothing secretive about this. It's all public domain on Amazon. So rather, I'm just showing you the process of how to do it. These are not, necessarily storefronts that I would go through or products that I would be interested in. Rather, this is more to show you the process. So again, once I've gone through that whole storefront, and I guarantee you guys, as you get deeper into the storefront, you'll start to find more products that are consistent with our criteria. Price point 17, 4+ sellers on the listing, price point 43, 6+ sellers on the listing. So, something like this, a brand that's a little bit larger, SanDisk, maybe I don't reach out to the brand directly, but rather I go through a distributor. So just because I preach reaching out to brands doesn't mean I don't work with distributors. So if the brand is not available to work with directly, do consider working with distributors. So again, I'll go through here and I'll look for products that meet our criteria. And we will continue to do this over and over again. And you will build your leads list of contacts, and you will also build a storefront list. So you will add a tab here called storefronts, and you'll put the name of the store and the storefront link so that you can come back to it at another time, right? You put the name of the store and the link to the storefront. Bear in mind that when you open up a product from a storefront, if you're in a seller storefront and you open that product up, you will only be able to see that seller that is on the listing. So what you'll want to do is you want to find the ASIN number in the URL and peel off everything that's after that, search for it again, and then you'll get all of the sellers on that listing, right? We could see that this seller is not competitive on that listing. They're at $22.99 and the competitive price is $13.86, right? Amazon was on it and now they've been on and off of it recently. Again, if you guys haven't seen the video on Keepa, you're going to want to watch that because that will help you a lot in sourcing. We would add to our storefront list. And then there's a process that a lot of folks forget about. They don't necessarily do this. They contact the company. Maybe they don't get a response right away. They leave a voicemail, send an email and get no response, but they don't follow up, right? I can't emphasize the importance of following up with these brands. It's how I've gotten my best wholesale accounts is through following up. So we would simply just take our contacts that did not get back to us for whatever reason here, or we weren't able to reach, or maybe we did reach out to them and we had a conversation with them, and we said we were going to reach out again in a couple of weeks. We would continue those in the follow-up sheet, and we would subsequently continue to reach out to them until we have obtained a desirable result, or the line of communication has died for whatever reason. So that's really the process. There's not a whole lot of complexity to this. I've explained to you my criteria of how to find profitable inventory. I've explained to you, this is, my exact spreadsheet that I use to source and find brands. We'll close these out for a second, and just for example purposes, I'll look at a couple of these other products that I opened up here. Again, this product sells very well. Looks like there's map pricing. I'll look at some other sellers, and it looks like it's just the brand on this, right? Or it's just one, maybe third-party seller. Looks like it's probably private label, so not interested in that. Here's a product, a very expensive retail price. Amazon is on the listing, so I'm not going to be interested in that. Here's another product. This looks to be some type of retail arbitrage product, probably out of stock because Amazon used to have it for retail and then they ran out. Here's one. So let's look at this, and we'll see that it looks like the product is probably mapped. Price is good. Sales look decent. 5 sellers on the listing. Not all of them are competitive. This is an example of a product that I would put in here, and I would find the company information. So this is called Streetwise Security Products. This is a stun gun. Maybe be careful with selling that type of product on Amazon. Stun gun looks like cutting edge products might be the either manufacturer or distributor of this, because they are selling it themselves with quite a large quantity. So maybe they would be a good contact to put in here. I'll put their email, or I put their website in. We can get the phone number at a later date. Streetwise, the name of the brand is Streetwise Security. And then we would continue our list again. Once you've generated 20 to 30 leads, contact, right? Make your phone calls, send your emails. If the phone number is not available, send the email, and continue to rinse and repeat that process. I contact about 100 companies a week. And what I get from that is a high account closure rate. Because I've been doing this for quite some time and I understand what these companies are after, what they're looking for, and how to provide them with value. But also I'm reaching out to more companies, so my account closure rate is going to be higher. This is a numbers game, guys. So that's the process. If you guys wanted to go back just for a full circle here, sports and outdoors, if we're interested in that category, we looked at hunting. Maybe we're interested in, I don't know, boating and fishing. So I open that up. And do we want to niche down further a bit? Maybe, or, maybe we just want to take a look at all the results. Sometimes that gives us a better idea here. And I'm looking at the number of sellers that are on the listings and if Amazon sells the product. So this is a best seller, but there's 3 FBA sellers, right? 1 seller, Amazon for the most part. And that's where you're going to get on a number of the first pages. You're going to get Amazon on the listing, and you're going to get 1 seller, meaning it's a private label brand for the most part. There's 2 sellers, lower retail price point. But again, we're not just trying to find this specific product. We're trying to find storefronts that we can then source to find more products. So you can see how this is a rabbit hole that never ends. There's thousands and thousands of brands on Amazon, thousands of manufacturers and distributors that want to sell you their products. It's just a matter of you going out there and putting in the work to find them and then contact them. So we have a couple tabs open here. I will take a look at the first one, and I'll see that, okay, this product was just listed. It's got a variation listing. I'm going to look at the different sellers that sell it. This looks like might be Chinese sellers that sell it. They might be. Let's see what products they sell. Okay, so it's just this product. So this is probably more of a private label brand. Not really interested. Let's see if this applies. Product looks like it has map pricing. this might be something viable. There's a lot of variations on the listing. So, I mean, maybe these other sellers might sell related products, or they're Chinese sellers, as we see. So, we just continue this process. And one thing you guys have to bear in mind when you're searching in such niche categories, this is why I like to not only do reverse sourcing, but I like to storefront stalk general storefronts, because if we're searching in such niche specific categories, a lot of these suppliers that you reach out to are going to want a specific brick and mortar store that is related to the niche. So the brick and mortar store is a great option if you have this available, if you can work with a partner, or if you can open up your own brick and mortar store, your account closure rate is going to skyrocket. And sometimes these brands will let you sell on Amazon if you have access to that brick and mortar. A lot of the niche categories will be specific to the brick and mortar. So if you're sourcing in the hunting category and you're reaching out to a hunting supplier, they're going to want you to have a category specific storefront, such as in hunting, fishing, outdoors related. So continue to go down that rabbit hole, guys, and that is the sourcing process. I hope that video helped you understand a little bit more how I source. This was episode 4 in my Amazon FBA wholesale series, a comprehensive analysis and walkthrough tutorial of how I source suppliers in 2022, including my sourcing criteria. If you guys have any specific questions, feel free to drop a comment down below. And if you enjoyed the video, smash that like button and hit that subscribe button and notification bell to stay up to date on all of the future content. In episode 5, we will be discussing how I reach out and contact the manufacturer and how we are able to close more accounts through providing value and reaching out to the brands directly. Thank you guys again for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we will see you next time.